Hello, this is Winston Cunningham. It is December 16th, 2024. And I'm thinking today that each one of us is living in our own terrarium, because we were all given what we needed in the beginning. And so a terrarium, as I understand it, is where a plant can grow. It has its own, it's in a self-contained container, and it has its own atmosphere. And so it is like each person has their own terrarium, and is like a plant growing within a world of its own. Because as we breathe out, which is giving, our breath reconforms, or our energy that we've expended reconforms and comes back to us, reflecting our own level of development. And so we express, we get feedback, and we grow. And this is the way that it is. And so it just, the terrarium is a neat picture for me, because it is, as I was telling somebody the other day, that the only way you can change what is coming to you is to change what is going out. So as we grow, we see a different reflection. So what changes within us is reflected in what we give and we receive as a result of what we are giving. And as our giving increases, then we have more, we receive more. And the only way most people can think about this is in money. But money is simply of one method of determining value. It is the physical representation only of value. But value comes in many different forms. I feel valuable when somebody recognizes me. And I feel even more valuable when somebody asks for my opinion. So value can come in many forms, because there's 144,000 different parts of myself that I need to understand. And if I'm seeing value in one of those parts, then my experience has been worthwhile. Because my experience is for the explicit purpose of me understanding more of myself. And so I like this image of the terrarium, because what goes out comes back. And if I want to change what's coming back, I change what goes out. And so that is what I'm in the process of doing, and in the process of understanding more with each experience, more of myself. So, if I look back, there's things that I could have done different, but I didn't. But there's things that I can do different now. And so it all depends on my intention. As I was telling somebody earlier today in a text, that it is our intention that sets into motion what we will experience. In other words, what we intend to give to the world, that intention dictates what comes back to us. It is our intention. And Jesus put it a little bit different, like the seek first the kingdom, or the righteousness of the kingdom of heaven, and all else will be added. And I'm paraphrasing here. So that phrase is talking about intention. If your intention for being here, for experiencing, if your intention is for your own personal spiritual growth, then all else begins to fall into place. And that's what that phrase means. If your intention is off kilter, then everything that comes to you is going to be off kilter, and you'll hear people just fussing about the weather. It's amusing to me sometimes. I'll hear people at the YMCA saying, "Well, I would have come to that class if it wasn't raining." I said, "Well, hell, it's not raining inside here." So it's the our perception is quite simply the tool that we use to see where we are. What is doesn't really change. Our perception of what is can grow. And so no two people are in the same place with their own understanding of who they are or what is. So it's all, and when we understand all that is related to why we're here, then there'll be no more need to be here. And I did a talk on the need to know, but the need to be here is another thing. If we didn't need to be here, guess what? We wouldn't be here. I've heard this phrase, especially when I was growing up. I'd hear somebody saying, well, they may be fussing at the parents or something. Well, I didn't ask to be born. Well, actually, you did. You not only did, you chose the parents. You chose everything. You chose your sex, your gender, and all of this stuff. And you chose it so you could have the best opportunity to learn what it is that you needed to learn next. So here we go back to the terrarium. So once you implemented that intention for this lifetime, then you're in your own terrarium. And no matter how hard you try to deny coming here, or deny choosing your parents, deny choosing your sex, it's just futile to deny that, and it's working against the choice that you made before you got into this physical body. And there's a lot of hoopla, a lot of discussion or misunderstanding related to that. I can't do anything about somebody else's misunderstanding. I'm responsible for developing my own understanding. But I can have compassion for other people who are confused and defused. Confusion is simply defusion because we're farther from the source, our own source. We're too far away from it, and so the meditation gets us closer to the source, and that's why we meditate, so that we can bridge the gap, so to speak. The terrarium is an interesting concept, and I love that because it. I remember the first time I saw a terrarium. I said, "You mean this thing in this glass bowl that is not exposed to the atmosphere, has everything that it needs?" So that was an amazing concept for me. But now I've kind of come full circle to understand the concept as if I'm the plant in the terrarium. For me to even suspect that someone else, somewhere else, or somebody else is ruling my life is a little silly. Because it's me. It's me that creates the weather inside my terrarium. It's me that creates the atmosphere, or that appreciates the atmosphere and breathes the atmosphere and expands this atmosphere. So expansion happens within this terrarium. It is mine. And you have your own. And I keep coming back to this phrase, the people that are thinking that God is in control are forgetting the fact. Examine this and see what you come up with. Because as your understanding increases, you will understand that when a parent, and God is our parent, I know it's common for a kid to grow up and still live with their parents, and that's okay. But for the most part, the parents leave home. Or not all of them do, but some, most of them do, because that's the way you begin to explore what it is like to be an adult, like your parents are or were. So you step outside the house. Your parents, a house represents the mind. So you step out from, you're taking in everything your parents gave you and say, well, let me go see how to use this. And you may not see it that way at the moment. I can remember when as an early adult, I had some thoughts about fussing at my parents. Well, why didn't they give me this? Why didn't they give me that? And then it dawned on me, well, hell, they gave me what they had. If I want something different, I got to go get that. That's on me. As Sadhguru loves to put it. So that's on you. But I'm understanding bits. I'm still understanding in bits and pieces how it's all on me. So I can't look anywhere but the mirror to make things different. I can't point the finger at somebody else and say, you make my life different, please. And that's what people are doing when they're praying to God. They're not really praying. They don't maybe understand what prayer is, but they're begging. I grew up in church and I heard this, what I heard was begging. And when there's begging going on, there's not the recognition of what you have. A beggar on the street doesn't know what they have. They don't know how to use what they have to get what they want, so they're begging. And that's what prayer, that's the way most people pray. But let me explain the way I see prayer. Meditation has two parts. The aggressive part and the receptive part. Now, the aggressive part is prayer, where you state your intention. Whether you're asking for something, whether you want to develop something more in yourself, or whether you want to just say, thank you, Lord. And Lord is I am within you. It's not somebody somewhere else. It's the innermost part of you. It's the part of God that is you. And so that's who you're giving thanks to. So when you pray, you're simply implementing your intention. You said, Lord, this is what I intend to do. Let me see how. And that's a more productive way to pray. Let me see how, not do it for me. See, do it for me, it takes you out of the picture. Teach me how. Or aid me in seeing how. You're talking about you're looking for at the superconscious part of yourself that has the answers, and you're wanting to see how to understand that from your level of thinking. And so there needs to be some more doing on your part, to like more concentration, more meditation, more connecting ability, so you can begin to see, feel, taste, touch, smell, hear the higher vibrations that are available to everyone. So your level of understanding of vibrations is on you. And the higher you go in your ability to relate to higher vibrations, then you will experience higher vibrations. Now, that's the first part of meditation, which is prayer, the aggressive part. Now comes the receptive part, where, when two people are talking, when the other person talks, you listen. When you talk, the other person listens. So now you've said your prayer, you've done your talking. Now it's time for you to listen to the inner part of yourself, the inward part of yourself, starting with subconscious mind and then superconscious mind, that all are under the embraces of I am, which is the God within. So now, after you state your intention, comes the paying of attention, which is the practice of meditation is to place your attention upward to here, and then inward, and just listen. Don't think, don't listen to music, don't play chimes or whatever else you've heard about meditation. Meditation is the listening process, that's all. And when you listen, you just need to shut up. You can't think about what you're going to say next and listen at the same time. If you're sincere about your prayer, then be sincere about listening. And pay attention to your own experience of how you are listening to other people and how other people are listening to you. And pay attention to when other people, rather than taking in what you just said, while they were pretending to listen, they're actually thinking about what they're going to say next. And then observe yourself to see if you're doing the same thing. And the way that you get more people to listen to you is you listen to more people. See, it's the terrarium effect. The way I give is the way things return. That's the way it is. So, the next time you meditate, just say, "Thank you, Lord, for giving me my own terrarium." I'm Winston Cunningham. Thank you.